in which you are, wherever you're watching me from. It's a privilege to be in another episode of Being Sex Wise as Parents. Like I always say, parenting is not for cowards. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility. I want to celebrate everyone who has given me access or is giving me access to your life this evening, this afternoon, this morning. We are teaching ourselves on how to be sex wise as parents. We are living in a serious time. It's a perilous time. It's a time that I never thought I was going to be alive in my days to see things that I'm seeing now and things that I'm hearing now. I see kids acting porn. I've seen schools celebrating kids to do competition nakedly, not wearing clothes. Recently in the University of Ibadan, thank you for joining. Everyone, please help me to share this. We have to be sex wise as parents. We cannot afford to be careless with our lives anymore. Recently, about this morning, I just heard the news that polytechnic students, both of them, a male and a female, a final year student with so much great potential, was having sex, and both of them died in an active sexual activities. It's so amazing. When we were growing, we never had this opportunity. Nobody said things like this to us. We don't even see them. Like I said in one of the episodes, the worst form of pornography I saw growing up was Ikebe Super. Anything outside that is not possible. Parents are well coded, well structured, orderly when it comes to their sexuality. But these days, a click away on the internet, you have your porn site. You had a lot of things, hearing it from adults talking about sex, actually giving the picture of sexuality. It becomes so embarrassing at times, and I wonder why. So the effect of social media itself is alarming, is crazy. Now the world of music, sometimes, I'm not a radio person. I tell people that if they are looking at you, you don't look at people. I'm not really into watching movies and all of that. I listen to news. I try to get informed with what is going on around because of the work I do and the things I do. But naturally speaking, I'm not really a radio person. But I noticed that most radio stations, very early in the morning, the kind of music that is played into people's subconscious and conscious mind is sexually infiltrated. It's softly sexual. I've heard a lot of music that it has to be encapsulated with the issue of sexuality. It has to talk about, I want to take you home, I want to remove your whatever, so many things. And such things come up to become a mindset that a lady or a man is ready for sex during the day or at last in the evening, because the music that is being played is sandwiched, sometimes encapsulated. It's just like, you have your capsule, the thing is inside, the capsule is covering it, but inside it there's still sex things, sex toys, sex statements. Sexuality is always sublimed in some of these things, and because of that, our children are not informed. We don't even know. Even someone that became a pedophile, of course, being a pedophile is a psychological thing, but today I want to quickly tell us, we are being sex wise as parents. I want to quickly tell us, how do you know that this person is a pedophile? How do they operate? Who are pedophiles? Whatever I can share with us today, I need to let us know, because we are living in a delicate world, in a dangerous world, and before we know it, our children are being preyed on. We have them all over the place. Yesterday I had a conference, like a meeting with the younger ones, and a particular girl shared a story of how a neighbor, a security guard in the neighborhood tried to groom her for sex. Actually, I forgot to tell them that it was grooming. You know what the guy does? He beats the teenagers, hits them, slap them, just do some weird thing to them. And that is a setup. At the end of the day, he will now come and pet the child and say, don't worry, I'm sorry, I love you, blah, 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 blah. Before you know it, the girl will fall for a predator, a pedophile. So they are all over the place. And if we don't understand that, we're going to become a victim of, a lady, actually, there are so many questions that came up yesterday. And one lady asked a question. He said, what happened when your cousin rapes you? When your cousin sleeps with you? These are questions that were asked indirectly, because they don't want us to know. Of course, as a counselor, if somebody is asking a question, he's actually talking about himself. And parents are so naive, they are so oblivious, they are not even sure about their daughters and their son's sexuality. They are not aware. Is it sure aware? Whatever it is, they are not conscious, that's the word, of the fact that there are predators, there are pedophiles, there are vampires, there are people that wants to damage a child by the reason of exposure to sex unduly. So please follow me today. We're going to have a good time. You have to be wise. Now we're talking about children. When I say children, between the age 8, 9, 10, from age 5, because the generation we are living in now, they're so fast. I don't know if the food they are eating or the kind of exposure they have in school or the knowledge they are being given, but somehow they are extremely intelligent. What you know that they know, what you don't know they know, is much more than what you know. I was talking to one of them, just 5-year-old, and the mother made a statement, and I emphasized the statement. He said, but you are not this. Now I couldn't answer the question, but I was shocked. He said, but you are not, meaning that whatever the mother is telling him is doubting the integrity of that woman's statement because of the way the issues has been displayed. That is destroying a child without you knowing. That is making that child to doubt your integrity as a parent, making that child to doubt you as a truthful person. And listen, you cannot tell your child not to lie if you lie. You cannot tell your child to be straightforward if you are not straightforward. You cannot tell your child not to say things or comment on things when you comment and you say things that are out of order. You can never tell your child not to do something that you are doing. Most of us today, whatever you see your child do, they are products of what you have done before or what you have acted in their presence. Give me an example is, maybe somebody called you and you don't want to talk to that person, and you tell the person, I'm not available. You think you are trying to be smart. No, you are teaching your child to lie. So it will be unfair on you if you beat that child for lying. Now, I've seen parents that will say things to their children. I'm talking about how to understand the dynamics of preying on your children and being a pedophile. Some of us, you are looking at a pedophilia like sexual. No, I'm coming to other parts which is sexual, but I'm saying this for you to know that when you start praying, preying on your children, preying on their emotions, preying on their feelings, telling them things that adults should understand, you are now bringing it to their level and you are not explanatory enough. You're a pedophile. Discussing adult things with your children, solving problems that is not their own. Maybe you and your husband, you have issues and you are telling your kids, daddy, mommy, daddy is like this, mommy is like this, she's not nice, she's this, she's that. You are a pedophile. You are messing up the life, emotional life of those children, and before you know it, take it or leave it, those kids will play it back. Sometimes I believe that parents should wake up and take responsibility over the act and the attitude of their children. Ask yourself, how did I contribute to this? Honestly, a broken and a contrite heart, God will not despise. If you are genuinely repentant and you genuinely take responsibility for your acts, your actions in the presence of your children, I have a good news for you. God is going to rewrite their history. He's going to change their story. But if you keep pointing fingers at your children, what they do, how they act, things they are doing, they smoke, they lie, they steal, they're in a cult, they do all sorts, they drink, and you actually, anytime you are coming from work, bottles of beer is in your car. As you are taking it, you are taking it with your friends, fine. You didn't tell them to take a bottle, but when they are packing the bottle to the kitchen or wherever they want to put it in the storage, what happens is they sip the later part of the bottle. They sip it. And when your kids sip such, they get a little bit tipsy, intoxicated. Before you know it, they get used to the taste of the alcohol. I have a case on She Matters. If you follow me on my radio program, you will hear a woman screaming, telling us or asking me to advise her that a 4-year-old child, her daddy gives him alcohol. That boy is a drunkard, and you always know more than your teacher. So if you try to introduce alcohol to your child at age 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, thank you for joining. Before you know it and watching, before you know it, you see your child doing the same. And listen, stop dealing with your kids as if you are a saint. Whatever you allow in your family, take responsibility. If possible, apologize to your children and tell them, son, daughter, I'm so sorry. I was the one that pushed you into cultism. I was the one that made you to be keeping secrets. I was the one that gave you a bottle of beer. I was the one that was telling, backbiting, bad-mouthing, talking bad about someone in your presence. I was the one that this, that. At the end of the day, when God noticed and observe that you are taking responsibility, I have a good news for you. Your child will change. He will know that life is about making mistakes and restituting. You make mistakes, fine. There's nobody that is perfect. But when you are giving alibi, you are giving excuses, you are telling your mommy, you are telling your son, your daughter, is your mom, is your dad, is your husband, is your wife, you are killing somebody, you are destroying a future. And I have a good news for you. You are a pedophile. A pedophile is someone that preys on a child to give them orgasm or to make them to have sex. Now, when I say orgasm, it's still all is encapsulated in emotions. So I want you to understand that whatever you do as a father or a mother that puts your child in a place of sobriety, a place of shame, a place of guilt, a place of bad mood, when their feelings are not connecting with what you are saying, you are preying on that child. You are a pedophile. Oh, look at your daddy, he's not giving us food money. Look at your daddy, he's a bad man. Look at your daddy, he abandoned us. Shut up. It's not their business. You saw the man, you married him. Put yourself together. Face your problem with your husband. Don't get your children involved. To an extent that some parents, some mothers are murderers. They are not mothers. They will not make their children to be cursing their father. It's not their business. I'm not saying your husband is right or their mother. I'm not saying your wife is right. Don't get me wrong. Please, wisdom is the ability to separate issues. Wisdom is the ability to put things in perspective and in order. Let's learn to be wise when it comes to raising our children. My passion in this generation are the kids coming up. You need to listen to what children are saying. There's a lady now, a small girl, when I finished yesterday, she came in, she said she wanted to see me. She didn't want me to go. I told her, okay, come into the car, let's talk. When we're talking, she said, you know what, my dad had lost his job. My mom had to distribute us to 1 or 2 family members. Ma, the father of the house who's supposed to be paying my school fees put his fingers in my vagina. How do I explain that? How do I explain that? Some of you, I'm not saying, I know life is not fair. I know things are not well. I know the country is tough and it's hard. But hear me and hear me good. You can put your kids somewhere and monitor them. Be a mother hen. Don't just leave them there, abandon them. Oh, maybe because your kids are giving you problems. Go to the hostel. Be somewhere. And you don't care. You are not even bothered about what is going on in the hostel. You are not bothered about what is going on in your cousin's house, in your niece's house, in your brother's house, and have caught adults. Because children are vulnerable, sleeping with each other and their cousins. Today, their life, they are just picking their bits and pieces together. Hear me. Every child's first sexual exposure determines if that child is going to be a good child, good wife, good husband, good mother, first sexual exposure determines everything. So when I'm talking and I'm sweating and I'm shouting and I'm talking as if something is wrong with me, I know what is wrong with me. When a child is unduly exposed to sex, that child is a whore, she's a prostitute, she's olosho, she sleeps around. The sexuality of your children must be exposed. You need to know who is a pedophile. Now let me say this to you. If your child does not know what is breast, don't say boobs, breast, penis, vagina. When somebody comes as an adult or a neighbor or a teacher or a lesson teacher comes around to say things like, or touch the breast, the child will just smile and put herself together. No, don't touch my breast. The predator will be shocked that this girl knows what she's talking about. Auntie, don't touch my penis. When I talk like this, people don't know what I listen to on a daily basis, consistently. They don't know. There's a particular boy now, I told you in one of the episodes, he had to do surgery. He masturbated to the point that his penis almost cut into two. And who allowed it? A maid. I know you are going to be busy. I know you are busy. Please don't be busy and be barren. If you have 5 minutes to spend with, especially their formative years. Do you know, a pastor's child told me that when they come for pastor's children's meeting, one auntie would beat her and beat him, a boy, beat him and sleep with him. Beat him. Then he said there was a time the parents sent him on an errand and he was afraid to go to the dark. And the lady was in the dark with him. He wasn't afraid to go to the dark. The girl was in the dark and he didn't want to go. The father slapped him. I said, sent you on an errand. You must be sensitive to your children. Slapped him. I said, you are very, very, I don't like using those words. You are very, very stupid. Why can't you go? I sent you on an errand, not knowing that the boy was running from a predator, from a pedophile, and that boy was 9. He said this girl slept with him, had sex with him till he was 14 on your watch, under your roof. Please, from this day, become an eagle, be sensitive, be alert. I'm not saying you should be paranoid. If you want to be paranoid, please be paranoid. Paranoia is part of life. I don't get me wrong. I need to balance that. If you are paranoid, you need a psychological help. Being professionally speaking, don't let me spoil English for the profession. I'm not saying you should not be looking for predators everywhere. That is paranoia. I'm saying that everybody, every human being has what we call instinct, and a woman has it double. A woman has 38 solid powers. One of them is the power of intuition, perception. When something is telling you that something is wrong somewhere, don't shut it down. Let me tell you a secret today. When you begin to teach your children about their sexuality, you call penis, penis, you call nipple, nipple, you call vagina, vagina, you call your buttocks, buttocks. Do you know that when a predator or a stranger comes in to want to do anything in that light, the girl is sensitive, is aware, because it's not a taboo, it's not a secret. Talking about sexuality is no more a secret. When your kids are not used to a particular word and a pedophile comes to say it, there's trouble for you. That child will fall, and you know what? Every pedophile tells a child never to say it out. Keep quiet. If you talk, I will kill you. I'll kill your daddy, I'll kill your mommy. Your mommy will beat you and kill you. So they are helping them to keep secret, and they keep it for the rest of their lives. It is listen to me, when you are sick emotionally, X-ray does not see it. When you see the boy and the girl that slept with each other, now, right here, that died in Polytechnic of in Ibadan. I'm sure they were on drugs. They must have taken some heavy dose of drugs. Probably they were even planning to do their own porn. Who knows? Who knows? My heart is bleeding. I'm not going to lie to you. And this happens when kids are small. When you see a pedophile a person that is grooming your child will say, see your cheeks, you are beautiful, touch the cheeks. Tell your daughter, tell your son, anybody that touches them and they feel uncomfortable, they should not shut their mouth. They should tell someone. Anybody that touches you or touch any part of you, maybe your cheeks, your lips, kisses you, peck you, and you feel roughened, tell your daughter to tell you. The reason why they will not tell you is because you don't make them to be familiar with their body. Every child, you must do a journey of discovery for your daughter, for your sons. Let them know their bodies. Let them understand the composition of their body. Let them know that there is chemistry. Let them know that God is the one that put sexual feelings there. And explain it simply. In our house, we have a gas cooker. The gas cooker has a knob to turn it off and turn it on. If it's on and it's not off and they spark the light, it will burn the house. So sex to you, to all of us, you, especially my daughter, my son, at your age is there, but it is locked. God is the one that puts sex there, but it's for a time. That time is when you turn on your gas and you cook. Look for a simple way. That just came to me now. It wasn't planned, it wasn't premeditated. I'm just saying that there's a way you will ask God for wisdom to tell you, to teach you on how to teach your child to come to their level. And listen to me carefully. These predators, they are everywhere. I saw something. Let me show you something. Do you know every predator or a pedophile, they groom their children, they groom children from this age of maybe 4 or 5. You hear adults saying, my wife, don't ever. If you're a mother, you are there, and one person is telling your daughter that is his wife, tell him he's not his wife. Honey, my darling, my daughter, you are not his wife. His wife is at home. Let them know, let your kids know that making such a statement is inciting. It's making a statement is a word that pedophiles use. Or you know what? You are, come and sit on my lap. You are my girl. You are my girl. You are beautiful, beautiful girl. Don't allow, especially if you have not exposed your kids to sexual information and let them know that there are pedophiles. I've seen people in the same place. The story I'm telling you is a true story. It's just that, people are still ashamed. I'm trusting that I'm going to get to a place in this thing that I'm doing that people will be comfortable to share their stories. And honestly, if you feel comfortable in sharing your stories, can you let's talk about it. Let's bring it to the public. Because whatever you cover will decay. You are as sick as your secret. You are sick as your secret. When you begin to hide and you are keeping it, if you have had an experience of being raped, being pedophiled, say it out. You are starting the journey to healing. One of the things that happens when we do sexual addiction classes is that people don't want to open up. And I've told you before, anything you cover will decay. Teach them questions. Teach them to ask questions. Teach them to disagree. No, uncle, no, auntie, no, I don't want. Teach them to respect elders, but let them know that it is not at the detriment of their own body. This body, we call it boundaries. Protect it. Is all that you have. Don't ever let your children get into a place of predators. I want to show you someone that was made loose and is paining me because she's a princess. I want to read it. I want us to read it. The name of that princess is Tama. She's a princess. She's one of the daughters of King David. I want to read that place out. Because if I don't read it, I will not be happy. I saw it and I said, wow. It's in the book of 2 Samuel 13. And I'm not going to read King James. I'm going to read a very New International Version. Very clear. From verse 1. Now, David's son Absalom had a beautiful sister. Now, let me say this. You know, when your child is beautiful, please commend them. Tell them you are pretty, you are beautiful, you are my princess, you are my joy, you are my pride. I told you about a pastor that went to preach in the US, and you know, we went to the restaurant, not knowing that the girl was about going to the uni, and from nowhere, the father just said, my daughter is the most beautiful, is the most beautiful girl in Tennessee. And she blushed, she smiled, and I said, wow, thank you, sir. Thank you for saying this to her. There's nobody that will come back and tell her that she's beautiful, that she will listen. She will not listen, because there is a statement that somebody that is in contact to her has made. Very beautiful, named Tamar. And Amnon, her half brother, fell desperately in love with her. Listen to me, men, teach your children that it is natural for a man to want to have you. I'm being honest with you. Men are visual. Men look into the outside. The Bible even says that men look at the outside. Men can see, they look. They commit the sin of lookery. Sometimes when you are driving with your husband, he's turning his neck, he's turning the other neck, looking at beautiful girls. It's not out of order. The only thing is, you have to caution it and check it. Because if you don't check it, it will check you at the end of the day. Do you know? Amnon became obsessed with Tamar. That's not love, that's lust. Anything that gives you urge and you are not able to control it and it's driving you crazy, it is addiction. Maybe I'll be talking about addiction in one of the episodes. Let me digress a little bit and let you understand addiction. Addiction is you form a habit, and the habit has not become your second nature. And that addiction is the ability not to be able to handle some things by yourself. By a little say, no, I can't do it. I'm disciplined. Like Job was not an addict. He said, I made a covenant with my eyes that I will not behold a maid. Those are people that are not enslaved or they are not enslaved to sex. When you see a man or a woman that is a slave to sex, slave to food, addiction is not only sexual. Slave to food, slave to anger, slave to pride, slave anything that puts you in slavery that you cannot do without. Now, let me quickly go to sex. Anything that makes you want to have sex, by all means. If you don't have money, if you don't find a girl, you rape or you go to prostitute. When that part of your brain is opened, nothing shuts it down. Until you get into sexuality, nothing changes it. If that is the case, then there's trouble for you. You need help. I'm a sexual addiction therapist. We have counselors, we have professionals that can help you. Don't die. You masturbate to stupor. Maybe you find that your child is masturbating. Don't keep it. A person that masturbates can never be a good husband. A person that watches pornography can never be a good husband. A person that masturbates can never be a good wife, because masturbation would hijack your brain and you will not be able to fall in love and enjoy love making, proper, natural, organic love making when you are married. Sex is for married men and women, not for boys and girls. If you are in school, focus. If you engage your brain in so much activities, you are focusing on your work, on your assignment, on knowing more, developing your skills, developing your potentials, honestly, you will not think about sex. So what happened? And Haman had a very crafty friend. Now, one thing that destroys human being is the act of relationship. Hear me. A dog that relates with a goat that relates with dog will eat physics. That's a language. Meaning that it is not in the nature of a dog or a goat to eat physics. Feces, you know what I mean? Poo-poo. Goat does not eat poo-poo. They are not wired to eat poo-poo. But when they get close to a dog, it is in its DNA, in its nature, to eat poo-poo, feces, the dog will influence that goat to eat it. What some of you are today is your friend. I told someone, I said, your friend will kill you. They will destroy you. Remember the story of Tortoise and his friend. When you have crafty friends, listen to me, dare to be different. Dare to be unique. Uniqueness is good. I'm unique. I'm different. I've written 64 books. One of them is one woman gang. You can be by yourself on yourself and enjoy yourself. You don't have to be in a clique to survive. That is the problem. Any friend you have, teach your children. We're talking about being wise in teaching our children about sex, about life. The sex-wise parenting. Listen, do you know you can teach your child to keep her virginity, and when others around are losing their own, she should flaunt herself that she's a virgin, and when she's flaunting it, she should not be in wrong places. She should not be in a place where they would violate her and rape her. One day Jonathan said to Amnon, what's the trouble? Why should the son of the king look so dejected morning and afternoon? Look at that association that massages your madness. There was this man of God that was sleeping around. He was having serious sexual problem. Do you know that he was making references to a man that is also a pastor like him that says, this is our struggle. So why are you are a pastor, you are married, you are committing adultery, and you said this is our struggle, and you are telling single brothers in church not to commit a fornication? Paradox. That's why I said, if you want to raise the standard, raise it. If you don't want to raise it, erase it, and don't tell us one story that is not wise. Because if you have a standard, you understand that this is sex before marriage is not permitted. Marriage is honorable, sex undefiled. Whoremongers and adulterers, God will judge. And you are married, you are saying this is our struggle. And you are claiming or owning up to the fact that you have sexual struggle, and you are telling people on the pulpit, holding microphone, telling them not to commit adultery, then you are a fake person. You are an hypocrite. And you know what the Bible says about being an hypocrite? It said you will die before your time. I'm not the one that said it. It said an hypocrite will be caught in the midst of their days. If you are a spade, call yourself a spade. If you are good, you are good. Don't mix up stories. Because now, what happened to Amnon was a friend association. Tell me your friends, I will tell you who you are. Don't relate any. Teach your children. If your daughter or your son has a friend that picks on him, watch that friend. That feels insecure about him, watch that friend. That talks about you are just doing fine. Is it because you are fine? Is it because your dress is fine? Is it because you look good? Cut off. It's better to be alone than to be in a wrong company. It's better to be alone than to be associated with friends that are going to mess your life up. It's better to be alone than to become a tool in the hand of bad friends. So Amnon told him, I'm in love with Tamar, my brother's Absalom's sister. Can you imagine? She shouldn't have said love. She should have said I'm in lust. Lust is not the same thing as love. He said I'm in love with my sister. Now, you know there are 3 types of love, but I'm not going to break it down now. But there's a genuine love, the love of God, the agape love. There's erotic love. This was an erotic love. He wanted to have sex. And Jonathan, his friend, watch your counsels, or watch your counselors. Watch who counsels with you. Mind those who tell you things. Some are mentally ill. Because X-ray does not show emotions, you don't know who is a narcissist. You don't know who is a sociopath. You don't know who is a psychopath. You don't know someone that is mentally ill. You just assume that this person is okay. Is my friend, is my friend. People that are always saying, my friend, my friend, my friend, they have identity problem. The reason why your friend will influence you negatively and make you to lower your standard and violate your belief system is because you are sick emotionally. People that have positive self-esteem, people that have positive image, forget what friends are saying. They don't care. You don't accept me in your clique. I've been accepted in the beloved. You don't have to be in a clique to live, to survive. I'm not in a clique and I'm living my life and I'm enjoying my life. You don't have to be in a clique, because really, if you find yourself in a clique and maybe you are going through some spiritual stuffs and God is breaking you, dealing with you. Can you ask me in Genesis 38, where would be a friend? Where would Tamar have a friend? You are afraid that your husband is enjoying you, you are kissing, you are calling honey, dolly, dally, dally. Tamar's husband was sleeping around. Was an evil man that God was about to kill. You can't be in an association not knowing your book, We are all living a script. We are living a book. When you understand your book, you will not be bothered about what anybody is saying about you. When we get to heaven and the one that wrote the script of my life begins to say, oh, well done, you've done well. Tama, well done. Funke, well done. You did a good job in that. Then they will open their mouth. They will not be able to close it. But if you're not, because of the voice of your opposition, the voice of critic, the voice of a clique, to lose your position, what do you want to say before your creator? Second husband, Tama, second husband too, became an evil man, was doing withdrawal method, no sex. He doesn't want her to become anything, wanted her dead in destiny. Matthew chapter 1 was waiting, the genealogy of Jesus was waiting for that lady, and she never wanted her to fulfill that, and God killed him. Which club, which clique will she be in? She can't be in a clique. Clique for her will not work, because their story is not the same. And that's why when you are going through stuff in your life, when challenges comes, when things are happening to you, wake up and tell yourself, come on, what is heaven saying? Is it a script I'm writing? Am I living a script? Am I living my own movie that is written about me? What is the director of the movie saying? David said, I've come in the volume of books that is written of me. There's something that is written about you, written of you. You better follow it hook, line, and sinker, because I'm not going to be awarded for your scripts that you lived. I'm going to be awarded and rewarded for living my own script. Everybody live their script. Can you just forget the voice of your position and not lose your position? That was the problem Amnon had. He had a friend, Jonadab. Well, Jonadab said, I tell you what to do. Go back to bed and pretend that you are ill. When your father comes to see you, ask him to let Tamar come and prepare food for you. Tell him you feel better if she prepares it, and you will watch as he feeds you with her own hands. What an insensitive parent. Hear me. Mothers, you are hearing me now. Even if your husband is losing his head, don't lose your head. If your husband is not seeing anything wrong in certain things that happens in your home, on your watch, wake up. Wake up. Life is so beautiful that if they cannot beat you, they will join you. That's one thing I've discovered. And life does not award a failure. Life will never award a failure. When you are successful, when you are standing out and you are outstanding, they will not be around you. They want to relate with you. But before then, you are an orphan. Failure is an orphan. They will never trace their genealogy to you because you have nothing to offer. But by the time you have something to offer, you have something to give, they will start saying, okay, this person, well, I think we know each other. We used to be story. They will tell stories. So be careful. Be careful. Parents, be careful of how you handle your kids. Hold them tight. Let them know that they have your back, they have your support, they have everything that has to do with you for them. They got your back. When they know they got your back, you're going to be amazed what they will turn out to be. Because you are the vehicle that brought them to this world. You are their eyes, you are their ears, you are everything to them. So Amnon lay down and pretended to be sick. And when the king came to see him, Amnon asked the question, let my sister Tamar come and cook my favorite dish. As I wash, then I can eat from her own hand. And David agreed. Listen to me. In this life, if you don't learn to say no, one day, people will say, no. Why did she allow this? No. Learn to say no. I've had few episodes in my life that I refuse to say no. I'm grateful that God rewrites history, but it's not everybody that will have another chance. I wish I had said no. But I'm grateful because God is a story changer. But do you know it's not everybody that can find that mercy, that can have the privilege of having to reap the part 2. The Bible says God is called the part 2, the second part in the life of Job. It's not everybody that their chapter 2 can be opened though. Some have died. Look at the boy that died in Poly. The father is late, the mother is late. I don't know what they did. They are both of them. The guy is an orphan. Lost his brother less than a week ago. just got back from burial and had to know that they are not going to do the exams, and took his girlfriend and they had sex and he died. So that generation is gone into extinction. That tells you something. Somebody had done something. Watch your life. I'm taking you somewhere. Follow me. We are talking about being sex wise as parents. David agreed. What are you agreeing to do? You agree that your daughter will go and sleep in somebody's house, and you don't know the sexuality. Parents talk about sex like as you are talking about your hand, your mouth, your nose, your ears, your glasses, your fingers. Talk about sex. This is part of the body. I've said it. If you miss any of the episode, please go back and listen to it. Follow me on my YouTube channel, funkeadetuberu. Please watch it. You get it to watch on YouTube, because very soon you won't be watching it again on Instagram. You will go and watch it on YouTube. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then when Tama arrived at Amnon's house, she went to the place where she was lying down so he could watch her make some dough. Now listen. A woman, if you train your children about their sexuality, something is sure that will happen there. The girl would have sensed it. What is he looking for? He did not even know that his manhood is standing out. She was not aware. Why would you raise daughters that they will not be aware of what is going on in the environment? A daughter must know when a rapist or a pedophile is around. A daughter must be sensitive. And when you have raised them so well, listen to me and listen to me carefully. When a predator is around, the girl feels apprehensive, feels uncomfortable. But when you raise your kids so loosely, they are so relaxed, anything can happen. Now listen to me. Children have yesterday I was talking about toxic in-laws, and I said something. I said there are children that what speaks love to them is touch. Fathers, hug those children. Don't mind my English today. Hug them. Hug your daughter. Mother, hug your daughter. Touch them. Hold them to yourself as parents. Because if it's touch they want, and they see a guy that comes to touch them all the time, if touch means love to them, some children, touch means love to them. That is what speaks love to them. It's not that they are loose. No. They jump on your neck. They hold you. Some kids are not like that, because what speaks love to them is not touch. Some is words. Some is help me to do my house, or daddy, please do my housework for me, help me, iron for me. That's what speaks love to them. But the one that what speaks love to them is touch. Then you must be very, very careful and be sensitive, not to allow yourself to now expose that child to what happened. Then she baked his favorite dish for him, but when she was set on serving it on the tray, he refused to eat. He didn't eat. If the parents were sex wise in parenting that girl, she would have poured the bowl of the cake on his head. You know what he said? Everyone get out of here. That's what, meaning that the girl was still feeling safe around the pedophile, the rapist, the predator. She was still a little bit comfortable. Let me say something here. Maybe I have to flog this. It's extremely important for me to flog this. Look at this. Most people that preys on your children, they are very close to them. Uncles, aunties, neighbors, cousins, gatesmen, drivers. Let me share this case with you. It happened, true story. Unfortunately, that child is the only child. I get worried when people are careless with not too many. I used to tell people, I don't have more than 3. So I'm a mother hen. That's the truth. I hoovered my children. Because listen, if you are careless with one and you don't do everything to protect them, they pass the baton. Do you know, as parents, you can ask your son, your daughter, where did you get that from? Did you see me sleep around? Did you see me have a sugar daddy or sugar mother? Do you see me have a boyfriend? Can a father open your mouth and say, where did you dare not do that to your son, your wife? Where did you get that from? But when they know that they have even counted 20 girlfriends that you have, Why would they open their mouth? And you can't even talk. You know, when a man has violated the honor and the dignity of parenting, whether man or woman, is not gender, whatever. It's not, it has nothing to do whether you're a man or a woman. The moment you lower your standard, everything goes down. Everything goes down. You will not be able to talk. You won't have mouth. But when your standard is high, you can confront and confront and confront. I don't want to use abusive word. You can confront and tell your son, your daughter, you can't mess with me. And if he decides to mess with you, you cut them off as if they have cancer, or they have cancer and it's cancer you cut off, because honestly they must not shame you. But you can say they cannot shame you because of the fact that you've raised a standard, and that standard starts with sensitivity. And when a child decides to refuse to listen to you, please put your feet down. You can't raise 10 and they will become 10,000. You can't raise 1 and it become 10. I will say it in English now. In English, you can't pamper 1 and it now turn to 10. 1 is 1. The only child. The story is very bad. When they are picking the kids from school, there are 2 families, they go to the same school. So they make the driver, the mother of the only child, make the driver to stay at a junction, 2-story. The girl that I'm talking about had 4 children for 4 different men today as I'm talking to you. Look at the story. She and the driver will wait at the junction to bring the remaining family coming in. So they go to school together. While the driver was waiting for the other kids to come to join them to school, he kept fingering this girl. There's no information about sex. You don't know vagina. You don't know penis. You don't know somebody touching you in your mouth or kissing your lips or kissing your cheeks. There's nothing. The child was not informed. So the child got used to it. As a matter of fact, the child wakes up early. You know, addictive brain. Wakes up early to get ready. So sometimes they stay 30 minutes, an hour before the time the other family will pick them up. So one afternoon, and this girl was just 5, 6, 5 and a half. True story. Unfortunately, this child is a pastor's child and the only girl. It's scary, man. The only girl. So one day she was in school and the teacher called the parents and said, every time they go to the restroom, to the toilet, their daughter picks a guy and tell the guy to keep touching his clitoris. I told you we are going to be talking about it raw. Putting his hand in his vagina, lie down, and they caught the girl. Unfortunately, we are living in a generation where which everybody cover everything. Everybody is covert. You are sick as your secret. If somebody will help me to write it, I will appreciate it. You are sick as your secret. They cover it and it was covert. No wahala, no problems. At the end of the day, this girl started abortions, started aborting. The parents aborted for her multiple times before she did stop. Wait, you are the only child, be having children. So today she had 4 children for 4 different men. Shame to ignoramus parents. Look at what David did. I said to your us, everybody that pray on your children, they are close, put your nose down. If you look at your nose very well, if you put your eyes like this, you will see your nose. That's what we're saying. Don't say, oh, that isn't cool. Oh, church is worse. Choir meeting is worse. Fellowship is terrible. Mosque is horrible. Ilekeu is bad. Don't assume. Don't ever. By the time somebody is asking your daughter, when is your period? That's grooming. Oh God. That's grooming. I've told you, let your children pay attention to their intuition. If Tama had paid attention to her intuition, to her perception, she would have sensed trouble. The moment Amnon said, get out everybody, man, we are bouncing out together. Everyone get out of here. Amnon told his servant, so they all left. Who dares them to listen? I would have gone, no. But the intuition, the perception was not stirred up. Listen to me. Don't stir up hatred in your children. Don't stir up bitterness. Stir up vision. Stir up sensitivity. Teach them, come to their level, discuss. Don't let them be confused about relationship, about life. If you confuse them, you will meet it there. They will make wrong choices. And then he said to Tamar, now bring the food into my bedroom and feed it to me here. So Tamar took his favorite dish to him. He has become mesmerized, perplexed, baited into sociopath or narcissistic personality disorder, selfishness, addiction. Now let me warn us. If anything like this is in your family line, whatever kills your father can kill you. If it is sex that kills your father, you must be careful. When I say kill, he might be alive and be dead. It's not everybody that is dead that is dead. He's dead to life. He's dead to purpose. He's dead to assignment. He's dead to dignity and honor. Have you forgotten that when a man commits adultery, he will be turned to a piece of bread? And shame and reproach will he get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. It's in the book of Proverbs. So when it comes to adultery or fornication or sexual issue, it's not something we should take with levity. But as she was feeding him, can you imagine? Trust. Every pedophile, every rapist is being trusted by their victims. I trust that uncle. I trust that auntie. He's my friend. He's not your friend. Anybody that wants to touch you or do something to you wrongly is not your friend. Look at what happened. But as she was feeding him, he grabbed her and demanded, come to bed with me, my darling sister. Nice word. Listen to me. When the predator comes, they call you, oh, you are beautiful. I like you. You are very nice. You are good. I like your dress. I like your shape. There's trouble. There's trouble. Even at my age, if somebody tells me I'm beautiful, I'll just not talk. I won't answer. Because why are you telling me I'm beautiful? Am I your wife? Excuse me. That is how it is. I'm as sensitive, as alert as that. I don't allow one nasty, stupid conversation with anybody. Well, thank God I'm an old woman anyway. But definitely, I can't even, thank you for helping me to write it. Odutai or Tajudeen, you are sick as your secret. Thank you. Thank you. If somebody is giving, and you know we are living in a sex-saturated world, in the school, sex talk, okay, help me. Who is going to help you? You are going to help yourself. They are changing your words. Those are the things that happens in an environment where it's contaminated and it's polluted. The beautiful sister told her she's beautiful. Mirror tells you are beautiful. I used to tell myself I'm a fine woman. Fine girl, no pimples. I laugh. So if you tell me I'm beautiful, it's not strange. But when you have not told your daughters, you don't tell your son that he's handsome, he's beautiful, and one pedophile, one predator says it, she will believe it. She will be acting like a lady. When your daughter wakes up in the morning, shower them, massage their feelings, massage the ego of your son. Tell them they are intelligent, they are dynamic, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, you are a good man. Don't say, this your brain, this your intelligence, oh, this your life. Don't do that. Don't let them see being beautiful, being handsome. Don't let them see it as a problem that will now make them to be vulnerable and become sexually active. No. God gave you beauty because God is beautiful. God makes you handsome because God is handsome. How excellent is your name? You are beautiful. Beautiful beyond descriptions. God is beautiful. It's not a platform for nonsense. I'm going to continue next week. But let me quickly look at what transpired between Amnon and Tamar. After he had, I'm going to read it out. I need to read it out. Something happened. He now forced her and raped her. And it was immediately said that, and the love turned to hatred. Let me read it. It's out now. Oh my God. Let me tell you something. If you don't protect the sexuality of your children, and a man or a woman preys on them, you're a wicked parent. I will say that with all sense of responsibility. Hear this. As she was feeding him, he grabbed her and demanded, come to bed with me, my darling sister. No, my brother. She cried, but everybody had left. Everybody had left. Please, teach your children, don't be in an uncomfortable place where they will put poison or whatever, sleeping drugs in your drink. Don't be alert. Don't leave your drink when you come to go to a party. Teach your children to be street smart. We are living in a wicked world. Is it not? Look at how many years have they written this Bible. Look at the story. If it's like this then like this then, oh my God, it's worse now. 1 million times worse now. You don't do this to me. Such wicked things aren't done. Story is late. She's gone. Her beauty is gone. Her coat of many colors is gone. Her virginity is gone. Where could I go in my shame? You see? Any woman, any child, I'll continue next week. It's 2 minutes to go. Any woman, any girl child, any male child that his or her sexuality is damaged, there's shame. Shame. But if you are hearing me today and you felt you're feeling the shame of not being pure as it is, you've been damaged, you've been sexually assaulted, and it's haunting you, please send me a DM. It's not your fault that you were raped. It's the fault of the rapist. It's not your fault that your pastor was sleeping with you, your head, the music director was touching you wrongly or having sex with you. No, it's not your fault. It's the fault of the pedophile. It's the fault of the rapist. It's the fault of the person. Even if your husband commits adultery, it's not your fault. One woman just called me and said, "Mommy, you don't understand. My husband is sleeping around." I said, "Excuse me, it's not your fault." You can be misword and your husband will still be sleeping around. His brain has been hijacked with his addiction. It has nothing to do with you. So please don't be guilty. Send me a DM. Let me encourage your heart. Let's work the healing process together. And amazingly, you're going to be so healed that you become a wounded healer. I want to say a very big thank you to all my listeners today. Thank you everyone for coming in and out. I really appreciate you. My name is Funkeadetuberu. Thank you very much. I'll see you next week. Thank you.